right, we are officially live. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Shane Carling here with 7-Day Weekend Mentors. Really excited that you guys took the time out of your Thursday day, morning, evening, afternoon. Not sure where it is. It's 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time where I am, and I'm coming at you from rainy and gloomy-looking Vancouver. Although we had a beautiful few sunny days this week. I hope you guys are doing good. No, why don't you guys just light up the chat box? Tell me where you're from. I'll get it started right now. We're just going to wait another minute while we're allowing some more people to hop on board here. So I'll send a message. What's up? I'm from Vancouver. We got Sherry. Hi, guys. What's up, Sherry? How you doing? Nice to see you on here. And okay, guys, so really excited about today. We're going to be talking about how to eliminate distractions from your life, how to stay absolutely focused, how to properly start building multiple streams of income. We're going to be laying out an itinerary of things that we will be talking about over the next series of 7-Day Weekend Mentor webinars. Now, if you want to know what 7-Day Weekend Mentors is all about, what we're here for, this is a go-to place for entrepreneurs and for people who maybe aren't entrepreneurs but just simply want to be able to get more out of life. We basically want to help every single person out there. Aaron Ellis and I have been entrepreneurs for a number of years. I've run my own, I went from basically being a broke employee who was working. I did roofing. I did cell phone sales. My earlier 20s, I messed up and just did a lot of partying. So I came from some very humble beginnings, and then I got into sales. I got into personal development. I got into, online and network marketing. I got into coaching and mentoring and speaking. I'm also writing a book called Deprogram You, which is going to be awesome, and talking about how to eliminate and identify and eliminate negative and mental programs that we tend to run. And, I've been able to hit multiple home runs in the network marketing industry as an entrepreneur, and also as an entrepreneur, been able to create products. So I'm not just talking the talk here. I'm actually speaking from a position of strength, coming at you with some experience. Aaron, I'll let him tell you about himself in just a second, but I've known Aaron for over a year now. We've become very, very good friends in building business and just in life. And Aaron is a multiple 7-figure earner. He is also has a history of being a actual rock star performer, where he was from the age 15 on traveling the world in rock bands and making music and signing deals with record labels. And, he ended up, having a family and a beautiful daughter. And then he went to start a bunch of gyms, like actual, brick and mortar gyms. And then also became an outstanding, probably one of the best, cryptocurrency traders that I have ever met. I mean, the guy's doing crazy percent gains and really has the Jedi sense. And again, so Aaron's got a position of strength to teach you guys stuff. We've collaborated to come together to help you benefit from our collective experience, wisdom, good lessons, hard lessons, bad times, good times, everything, guys. We want to sort of expose you to everything that we've been through in our entrepreneurial journey, all the good, the bad, the ugly, so you can have the benefit of all of that experience. There's two ways to learn, either the hard way, or you can learn from those who've learned the hard way. Well, if you're here, we'd like to help you sort of not go through the same trials and tribulations, or if you are going through them, at least be able to shift your paradigm to a success mentality that can help you navigate those waters. Because there's a lot of things that are going to hit you guys. You're going to get hit by distractions. You're going to get hit by a lot of things in life. But we just want to show you how to weather those storms. So maybe, Aaron, you can crack away here, buddy.
Sure. Basically, Shane told you my history. And as that applies to 7-Day Weekend Mentors, one thing that is people try to do in this day and age all over social media is they try to position themselves as a voice, as an influencer, yet they haven't earned that badge as an influencer or a mentor in any way. They haven't built anything themselves. And guys, that's just not valid. It's incongruent. And it's just a leader really, a leader truly knows the way and shows the way because a leader goes the way and continues to grow the way, meaning continuing to deep dive within themselves, to continue to expand and grow, to be able to, in turn, continue to know the way and show the way to others. So as Shane mentioned, I have lived my dreams, guys, not just tried to. I lived them out of the gates for 2 decades. At least that one dream. I'm living other dreams now, and I continually cultivate more dreams, have new dreams, and reach for them and live them, right? And I've had significant success in the brick and mortar space, traditional business, as well as the online space. So all that being said, to recap what Shane said, we're going to move forward here with the presentation today, guys. And Shane, if you want to go ahead and stop your video, then I'll bring you back on when I'm stop my video and whatnot, just so we can make sure the slides actually are showing for everybody. All right, guys. So basically, we are going to start our series on the blueprint for success. There is truly a way to do it and truly a way not to do it. Most people don't know this. They think that they understand how to segue out of living a life of conformity and of jobs and of constraints and self-imposed prisons. And they think that they can just take the same kind of ideas and same kind of disciplines and whatnot and move them into their own businesses. Now, there is some truth to that in the sense in how you flow through, but it's not a matter of what you do that determines your success. It's how you show up and how you flow through what you do. So again, what you do is not the solution. You are the solution yourself. And we want to talk to you about that starting today and over the next several weeks. So moving forward, we're going to talk about tonight about creating multiple streams of income and navigating the waters of distraction and how to truly focus. Okay. Now, there's lots of distractions. It's not just for those of you who are entrepreneurial, but this time of year, if you're looking for a new way to get your body in shape, there's a whole lot. I'm saying a lot. Let's interrupt that one right now. There's a whole lot of different programs out there, gyms. There's Zumba, there's kickboxing, there's a traditional gym, there's you name it, there's Pilates. There's so many things out there, and how do you figure out which one and how do you actually focus on one to finally get those results? It's not ours to align nature to us, it's ours to align ourselves to nature. And the reason I say that is you're going to learn the magic of the number 3. You're going to learn the magic of 12 weeks, which is 3 months. And wow, guess how many months are in a season? 3 months. You're going to learn the magic of seasons over these next several weeks and how different seasons you're doing different things, and everything adds up to your success. And you need to remember that as you're going forward. Okay, so navigating the waters of distraction. Typically, people don't know what to do. Their fears are out there in the water. That's obviously the sharks signify the fears. And they're not sure what to choose, and they might choose one thing, but they get confused, they get distracted, they see something to the right, something to the left, somebody pops up and says, "Oh, I'm doing this," or "Oh, this is the best workout, you've got to try it." And they get caught up in other people's excitement because they haven't learned to find their own excitement. They get motivated by other people's excitement. They get motivated by advertisements, by fear of missing out, by this is the only way, this is the way you've got to do it, because they haven't found their own inner inspiration to flow through their motivation and to continue to motivate them. So I'm going to pass this back over to Shane for a second to take this one away.
Yeah, I think you just nailed it on the head, Aaron, is, in my journey of, I have been distracted. I have fallen for the fool's gold. I have, been on the cusp of success and then stopped mining for gold 6 inches shy of the gold mine because someone else said that gold mine over there was even more gold in it. Well, that was absolutely ridiculous. And so one of the biggest things I want to talk to you guys about is literally just learning how to stay focused and finding and identifying distractions. So look, distractions, like Aaron said, they're going to show up in like the shiny object syndrome for a lot of people as an entrepreneur. But you really have to learn how to put the blinders on mindfully and learn how to focus. It's an acronym: follow one course until. Is that the next slide, Aaron? Follow one course until successful.
It's coming.
So one of the things that I've realized is, I went from being a personal trainer to I went from working labor jobs to moving to Vancouver to sales at a cell phone store to being a personal trainer. When I became a personal trainer, I was running my own business, okay? So I was working 12 hours a day. I didn't have time to go and focus on, multiple different types of businesses, this and that. Whenever I did any sort of online or network marketing thing, or it was back then I just did network marketing, all I did was one thing. And that's, if I could tell you guys anything, is you don't have, if you're still trading time for money, if you're still working a job, if you're not financially free or liberated, if you're not making at least, $5,000 to $10,000 a month residually, and you have to work a job, okay, then you cannot afford, listen very carefully, I don't care what your upline or your leaders do, it doesn't matter. If you're working a job, you cannot afford to be focused on like 3 or 4 or even 2 different things or projects. Until you break free, you need one to work. And the problem is people will get on board with a product, service, opportunity, network marketing company. And trust me, I am living proof. It will free your life. If you know how to do it right, you can travel. You can literally have the life. Like I am now living officially the life. Like I travel all over the place. I don't have to work. It's freaking awesome. You know what I mean? I get up whenever I want, or if I don't want, it's a great lifestyle. And I really want to have as many people, I want to help as many people get to that, 10K plus a month residual income. It's my personal goal. But again, I see it happen every single day. People have a job and then, someone's doing a crypto deal over here and someone's doing a Forex deal over there and someone's doing this guava juice thing over there and someone's doing a travel and they're trying to do everything and then they just suck at everything. You can be the master of one or the jack of everything. Okay, it's better to be the master of one move at a time. Now, what's going to hit you is distractions. So, Netflix and chill, Facebook, media, distractions, addictions, things can happen. Stress of life. I was talking to a gentleman earlier today who I've been working with, and he because he's got a bunch of bills and a bunch of contract work or something that's ending in 2 months, he's in sort of panic mode, like fight or flight mode. Okay. And so he allowed his mind to get hung up on all of this stuff in the future. And it made him make some irrational decisions. So distractions can come here in your mind. They're not just something that happens to you, by trying to like shiny object syndrome or seeing other people's posts. That's just one distraction. The real distraction is your thought process. Where are your thoughts? What are you thinking about? Because if you're thinking about something you in the future, if you're thinking about something that's causing you stress or anxiety or anything like that, that's a simple distraction. You have to turn that switch off in your mind and stop, breathe, slow down, get centered, and realize that is just simply a distraction. It's taking away from your efficiency right now in this moment. Right now, you should be listening to what I'm saying or taking notes. If you're doing something that, like you're listening to this and you're scrolling on Instagram or Facebook at the same time, haha, caught you red-handed, busted, you're distracted. See, if you can't focus on even a webinar or someone trying to teach you something, if you can't pay attention, then I bet you right now, and please listen, is this. How you do one thing is always how you do everything. So if you're not here with me right now, present in this moment, then I'm calling you out. Are you distracted? Are you texting? Are you messaging? See, how's your results in your business? They're absolutely tied in together. Okay, you showed up on a webinar. Are you distracted or are you here with me? If you're here with me, go ahead, say, I'm here with you. Okay, so guys, if you're here, that's awesome. But if you're distracted, that's okay. But understand that that's probably a symptom of what's going deeper is your mind isn't here with us. Okay, and if you're not here present, guess what? It's gonna be hard to make results. Go ahead, Aaron.
Awesome, Shane. Now, let's talk about a way to help you guys understand this. Let's go into biology now. We talk about philosophy. We talk about truth. It is truth. We talk about philosophy and mindset and whatnot all the time, but there's no separation between the body and the mind, no separation between the heart and the mind. So let's move on into biology. So you guys can actually what's happening in your bodies and in your minds when you're going through this type of process, okay? So if Shane, can you go ahead and stop your video there so that everything shows up on the screen here? So basically, understanding endorphins and shiny object syndrome. I guys want you to understand that when you see something that you like, you get an endorphin release in your brain. It's a high. It's a natural high, okay? Now, that's part of shiny object syndrome. You see something you like it, oh, you feel excited, you feel motivated, you want to do it. That wears off though, okay? When you're being reactive and your endorphins are being released by being reactive, it's short-lived. It ends when the reaction ends, okay? We're going to talk about how long that typically lasts too, because there's a science to that. Exercise also does it. Exercise can be a mindful way to create an endorphin release, okay? Sometimes people go exercise because they don't like themselves. They'll still get the endorphin release, but you'll want to shift that as well to acceptance for you to be able to get any kind of results from that exercise, right? Also your vices. So this is that glass of wine every night because you're tired and you feel you deserve it. You want to just decompress. This is a big meal because it makes you feel good and you really enjoy it. This is sitting down and binge watching Netflix. This is video games. This is basically anything that interrupts your pain, okay? So what I mean by that is your brain releases chemicals called endorphins. These endorphins interact with receptors in your brain that reduce your perception of pain, okay? They also trigger a positive feeling in the body. Vices do that. Anything you're doing to avoid because you don't feel good, so you want that glass of wine. You don't feel good. You don't want to think about what's going on. You don't like your job, whatever it may be. You go to shopping. You go to sex. You go to drugs. You go to alcohol. You go to cigarettes. You go to anything can be a vice. I used to go to caffeine like nonstop. And the funny thing is I'm so hyped up on energy now that one person I'm coaching is like, are you drinking caffeine again? I'm like, no, not at all. So it's actually all natural. It's my natural endorphin release. So I want you guys to understand that's how the body works. That's biologically how it works. Shiny object syndrome is you see something shiny, something exciting, something motivating, and your brain lights up. Those endorphins release, but it doesn't last when it's reactive. When you're in a state of action flowing from the inside out with intention and with mindfulness and choosing to create, you also choose to create those endorphins. I'm going to walk you through exactly what I mean by that further along with biology. Okay. So endorphins and how basically when you're mindfully creating your life. All right. So cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. Basically anything stress, dislikes, resistance, anything that is not joyous. Okay. Anything that is not joy, even low-level anxiety of, I wonder what I should do, that will release cortisol. Obviously, fear, doubt, anxiety releases that. Then when you go to your vices, right, you basically counteract that chemical reaction in your body. The cortisol, the stress hormone comes out. You release endorphins by doing something, by shopping, by alcohol, by drugs, by binge watching TV, by eating a big meal, when you're doing it to avoid. Then what happens is you release dopamine. This is when you like stuff, you feel stimulated, all that kind of stuff, right? Pleasure and reward releases dopamine. Arousal and desire releases dopamine. And also addictions do. So typically people get that dopamine release, right? Because they like something. They're stimulated. It's great. Shiny object syndrome. Then the addiction kicks back in and they don't go any further because they have these have-tos in their life. The have-tos immediately re-release that cortisol. Now, the thing that people don't realize is biologically, dopamine actually leads into and creates norepinephrine. But people stop at the dopamine and seek a new dopamine rush. When you continue to move through those things, you start to become mindful about your patterns, mindful about your vices and how you've been basically covering up your pain, covering up the things you want to avoid, running from your fear, right? By doing stuff like vices and addictions. When you start to move through that, then you get a norepinephrine release. This is when you get a new outlook on things. You may feel hopeful, okay? It doesn't end there, though. It comes from dopamine again. It increases memory for new stimuli. You remember the cortisol. You remember the dopamine release. You remember that you became mindful, and which converts into norepinephrine, okay? Then it moves into serotonin, okay? These literally follow a path. So I put that little, because you feel great, right? This is a mood stabilizer. It stabilizes your moods and it stops obsessive compulsive behavior. Now, before I pass this back to Shane, I want to reiterate that Usually in life, we are being stimulated and reacting to things we don't like, okay? Cortisol gets released. It's something we fear. We have doubt. We have anxiety. Things that we don't like, we're judging it. We're resisting it. Then we seek out a vice. We seek out some alcohol. We seek out a binge watching Netflix or whatnot. We seek out some video games. We seek out something, food, whatever it may be, an addiction, a vice, to get that dopamine release. Yet as that dopamine release wears off, all of our have-tos come back up, cortisol gets released, and we repeat that cycle. It takes awareness and mindfulness to actually transfer through the dopamine into the norepinephrine and continue the cycle. So with that, I'm going to pass this back over to Shane, but keep that in mind and really pay attention to what Shane has to say about this too, because the beautiful thing about working with Shane is we just literally it's like passing the baton, and I learn from him every time he talks. So I'm going to learn.
Yeah, and I love the cartoon characters, Aaron. That's awesome. So, guys, I used to actually be an addict when I was in my earlier 20s, full on. Like, I just lived a nightmarish life. So I was really stuck in a vicious cycle of cortisol and dopamine. Okay, and that's what causes addiction, and it sets itself in just a really hard way. So when I'm talking about understanding endorphins, that was how I was one of the ways I was able to overcome addiction was starting to understand how to control my mind. Okay. And one of the biggest things I want to tell you guys is I want you to consider the cost. The word consequence is a much bigger word than people think. So when Aaron was talking about vices, okay, sex, booze, drugs, rock and roll, whatever it is, whatever an addiction is, you identify it by something that occupies mental real estate. In other words, when you're not doing it, you're thinking about going and doing it, okay? Thinking about going and partying this weekend, thinking about having that glass of wine, thinking about smoking that joint, thinking about something. If you're sitting thinking about something, it's a vice, okay? Now, when you get into the fear and doubt and anxiety in your life, which is often caused by relationship problems, financial problems, health problems, or spiritual problems, okay? When you get into those issues of life, and then there's also self problems, just we're all messed up. A lot of us just self-destructive mechanisms running through our brain telling us to self-destruct, okay? So when we go through these feelings and we go for that joint, that glass of wine, that etc., okay, or that pile of drugs or whatever it is, whatever your freaking crazy vices that we all got, okay, whatever it is, the cost is how it gets you back in, because you have this temporary, drifting away from the reality of your life. And sometimes your life looks like crap. Okay, sometimes if you actually were to tell someone how your life really looks, you're like, look, I'm $20,000 in the hole, freaking da-da-da, going through a divorce, da-da-da. Like, if you could be going through the real crap of life, okay? So, but if you actually think about the cost of this, so we're living in fear, anxiety, and doubt. There's hard things going on in our lives that make us go to the escape. But when we're escaping, now we're costing ourselves time. That's one of the costs, because that is time. Doesn't matter how drunk or high or distracted you got, there's time that you weren't focused on the solution for fixing the fear, doubt, and anxiety in your life. Pay attention. This is big. You're wasting time. What's the first thing you regret when you get a bad hangover? Drinking. Like, why the hell did I drink last night? Oh my gosh, my freaking head feels like I got hit by a semi-truck. Gosh, I need another drink. So guys, like I've been that guy, okay? And you've probably been that person too, but that's cost, that's time. Second, money, okay? It's costing you money, the cost of money. Now, if you're here, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a human being on this earth, if you live on this planet, you probably got some financial crap going on in your life, or you're not financially free or set. I don't know any entrepreneur, like very few have actually got to the place where they're super comfortable financially. And if you're not at where you need to be financially, then you spend money on that booze. You spend money on that party. You spend money on that whatever. You know what I mean? And that, again, is another cost. That cost spins you back into cortisol, fear, doubt, anxiety, fear about money, fear about paying bills, fear about this. And you get into this absolutely horrible, vicious cycle of absolute crap. Don't mean cortisol. Don't mean, it's like, okay, there's this little, you guys remember Tweety Bird, Sylvester and Tweety Bird? say I remember, please. I hope that y'all are at least over 20. You should remember Sylvester and Tweety. It's the Disney, the Looney Tunes show. Remember the little birdie? He'd always mess with that cat. So when you get stuck in this cycle, it's like a little Tweety bird. It's just like innocent little bird. He just comes over to you and he just hands you this gigantic baseball bat. And you grab that, Sylvester grabs the baseball bat, and it's so freaking heavy, it falls over and goes, whoop, and it smashes him in the head. And he gets all dazed and confused, and then the only thing he can think about doing is and smashes himself in the head again, and boop, 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 and beats the crap out of himself till he's just a little head sticking out of the ground with his tongue rolled out, his eyes popping out of his head, and little daisies or whatever spinning around his head. That's what happens when you get stuck in this. And guys, this is the thing, is the reality of life is you got relationship, time issues, health issues, financial issues, all got problems. But when we are not focused on the solutions, we're focused on escape. The cost is astronomical. It's absolutely. But I got some good news for you. We're going to show you how to get out of this rut. I'm free. I'm free indeed. I am absolutely free. So is Aaron. Guys, I can show you a very, very good way to get out of the worst situations in your life. Aaron, go ahead.
Now, before we move on, I want to talk about two of the most, I would say, I'm going to use the word dangerous. I don't usually use that, but the two of the most dangerous addictions that are out there, okay? The reason why they're dangerous is if you look at the biology of what we're talking about, these addictions actually release dopamine as well. They actually counteract the cortisol as well. The first one is complaining about everything wrong in your life, okay? People call it venting. They call it venting, okay? That actually will give you a slight dopamine enough to give you some relief, okay? But it definitely feeds into the next cortisol relief. It's like you're actually pouring gas on a fire. It's just taking a little while to ignite. Now, the other one, before I say that, I want to let you guys know that when I was on tour with music, it's well known that a lot of people get into alcohol, they get into cocaine and stuff like that and other drugs. When I was on the road, there was a lot of people on the road that I was with on the road. I said on the road a lot of times there. There was a lot of people, a lot of musicians that were drinking to fall asleep, to bring themselves down, and taking cocaine or using cocaine to get themselves back up, okay? I chose massive amounts of caffeine and Valium. It was still an addiction, okay? Which leads me into the other dangerous addiction, which is justifying. People, when I talk about, I want you guys to check in with your brain right now and think about this. And you might not even be aware that you did this, but when people hear me say the word addiction, they think of alcohol, they think of drugs, right? And then when I start to bring up Netflix and stuff like that, or just one glass of wine, they're like, well, it's okay, I'm not really addicted. And alcohol ruins families, and drunk driving, I'm not getting in accidents watching Netflix. They justify, right? But it's still addiction. It's not what we do that makes or breaks our success. It's how we flow through what we do. That flow is addiction. It doesn't matter what it is still addiction. Yeah, we could debate that. Yeah, when you're drinking and driving, yeah, but smoking marijuana, you've never heard of somebody going out and smoking marijuana and killing a bunch of people. You guys can justify it all you want. And you will get an endorphin release, a dopamine release, and you'll be able to move forward and feeling all high and mighty and better on the problem, right? Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, it's still addiction. So that being said, I'm going to keep moving forward here, and I want you guys to see how this actually plays out. Now, whether it's you're going for a new exercise program, you're looking for a new job, or you're the shiny object syndrome about being an entrepreneur and all the different opportunities that are out there. So there's a reality to change. This is very important to listen to right now, okay? The reality of change is this. It won't feel good for 48 days, okay? 48 days, it won't feel good. This is a scientific proven fact on how the biology of the body works with change. Now, different changes are going to feel worse than others, okay? Obviously, but it takes a while for your body, for you to become mindful, for you to choose, for you to actually get into action, for you to make a change and to integrate that change, okay? That's when the freedom begins after day 48, okay? It may even feel so bad that your survival feels threatened because your brain equates old habits with survival, okay? Your brain has been conditioned to flow in a certain way. You've made the same choices. You've self-disciplined yourself to the level of self-mastery so you can have peace and ease and freedom in everything you don't want in your life. You've numbed yourself with your vices. You become complacent. When you set out to unravel that, it's painful. You feel like your entire identity is falling apart, okay? You feel like you are being threatened, okay? So how does this look? How does this actually play out? First of all, if you can't make it 48 hours, you won't make it 48 days. Most people have like a 48-hour to 7-day shelf life on their motivation and their excitement. Remember, I said motivation is finite. Reactiveness leads to motivation. It's finite. Motivation runs out. Inspiration doesn't. So the first 48 hours, that first 2 days, right? You see something new exercise program, new business you want to do, got a new job, new car, all those kind of things. You feel like this. Now, guys, if you're female on here, you're She-Ra, okay? You're not He-Man. I wanted to use something, that represented a current 7-day weekend mentor, myself, and people, you want to look like me. I understand that. It's okay. I'm going to show you how. And obviously, I'm totally joking, guys, but I did used to get called He-Man, by the way, when I had longer hair. So that's a joke. I'm not arrogant in saying that, but you feel like this. But in reality, you actually look like this, okay? You think you're looking amazing. You think you're ready to go, but it actually kind of looks like this. Now, for the next 3 to 7 days after that initial 48 hours, if you continue to go, remember you got that endorphin release, that dopamine release. If you choose to go past the dopamine into the norepinephrine to lead to the serotonin, you basically feel like you're melting, feel like you're crumbling, you're falling apart, okay? You don't know if you're going to make it. Now, it's 7 days. Usually between that beginning to 7 days, that's when people quit. The endorphins run out. The new shiny object comes around. They're distracted. They go after that, okay? Now, days 8 through 48, this is when the initial work begins. You're nervous. You're anxious. You realize what's going on. You don't want to keep jumping around from exercise program to exercise program. You don't want to jump from relationship to relationship, job to job, business to business. You decide, okay, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to try this. You set out on the course to try it, but you're nervous, right? You're nervous. You're sweating. You're anxious and all that kind of stuff. And new habits take time. You're exhausted, right? Anything's new, guys. Anything new takes effort. When it becomes second nature, it no longer takes effort. Anything you've done in life has done this. It's been tough at first somewhat. Then you got to handle on it and stuff. You discipline yourself. You reach the level of mastery, then the peace and ease. Now, at this point is when people start to realize how difficult it's going to be, okay? They actually start consider quitting. They're in a contemplation stage. They're looking back over the last, little while and whatnot. I'm going, why did I even start? You might have forgotten why you even started, okay? This is that breaking point. This is that really a very initial barrier, okay? And if you can push past that, if you can go past that 48-day mark, we're talking about biology right now, but if you look at this, biologically, physically, everything's tied together, mentally, emotionally, physically, it's all tied together. You're on your way to being that 7-day weekend mentor, okay? That's what we want to do with this. We want to get you guys to that level of freedom. It's going to look different for all of you. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have, what Shane and I have. That's not what it's about. You need to find within yourself what that means for you. Okay. I'm going to pause myself again here, and I want Shane to go ahead and go to town on this one.
I just wanted to point out, the first He-Man, like, who did that guy turn into? Like, what?
See, we think we look like He-Man or She-Ra, but it's actually just us in an outfit that doesn't really fit us yet. We have to grow into that or shrink into that outfit.
I don't look like that, man. That's great. Guys, okay, so here's the reality. Okay, after having worked with thousands of people, this is actually how it goes. And very few people end up at the He-Man state. Most people, they'll start off, they think that they're doing great, but really I think what that picture is showing is that there's still maybe a little bit of unhealthy mindset around things. You end up melting and burning out. You get all nervous because you actually have to do something to make your business actually work, but then you actually have to do it, and then you actually realize it's work, and it doesn't really work. And after enough time, you get into thoughtfulness. We want you to help you break that cycle, and really it's about getting clear. It's about having that expertise and that wisdom, which we want to help you get and gain. But yeah, I see it all the time, guys, and you've probably been guilty of this yourself. You know, you're super excited for 48 hours, and yeah, and then like some people are excited for 48 days, and then they quit. You know, the only way you can get success is when you make a decision and you choose. So your feelings, you're not a slave to. What we're showing is if you are a reactive human being. Most people are reactive. I don't want to speak to your reactive nature. I want to speak to your conscious nature. I want to speak to the you that is aware of your nature. You choose your mood. You choose your feelings. You choose your response. You are 1,000% responsible for absolutely everything in your life. All of it. Everything. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is your mess or your message. It's your blessings or your cursings. You've created this thing that you're living and experiencing right now because of your choices. Now, you can choose to be a victim or a slave or live in your vices or be addicted. You can make that choice. You can choose to be, or you decide, since you are the CEO, you are the captain of your ship, you're at the control panel of the Starship Enterprise, all right? You get to decide how you're going to navigate through this. The only way you're going to have success is you choose to be excited about whatever you get on board with until it's done, till the end. You just choose to be excited because energy is contagious. And when you're excited and passionate about whatever it is you're doing, it will always flourish. It will grow, right? Because you're in flow. But if you had gone through 48 hours and all of a sudden you burn out, you're like, I don't like the product. I'm a little skeptical. I don't know about this business. When you've gotten into that, you've already gotten out. You're out of the game. You were on the field playing ball. You decide to get down. You got your glove. You got your bat. You're about to start playing some ball. You get out there and you realize that you're actually playing with a bunch of professionals on the field. And then you're like, oh, I'm not a professional, so I'm just going to go back up to the bleachers and sit down. That's what most people do. And they're going to sit there and become cheerleaders and watch us play the game. Listen, the only people who are at a show, when you go to a baseball show, there's only one group of people making money. Kids, players on the field, the cheerleaders and all the, not the cheerleaders, the people in the stands, the crowd, the people who are watching the show, they're paying money. They're not making money. Okay, the players in the field make the money, and they just choose. You think that some guy who's been playing baseball for 25 years professionally is as excited, today as he was when he first got into the NBA or National Baseball League, whatever it is? He probably isn't. So, but he chooses because of disciplines, focus, and practice and repetition, guys. So I'll pass it back over to you, Aaron.
Awesome, Shane. So Shane mentioned something, and I want you guys to actually, if you have a pad and paper, or at least commit this to memory. Leadership starts with leading yourself. And the way I want you to commit that to memory or write it down is leadership starts with leading myself. I have so many people say, oh, you're such a great leader. I want to be a leader like you. Every single thing that I have mastered or achieved a level of mastery, I should say, it started with leading myself. And that doesn't stop. It continues and continues. I find new things that I need to work on, and I understand that leadership starts with leading myself. So I want you guys to commit that to memory. Leadership starts with leading myself. I want you to say it in your thoughts, and I want you to say it out loud, because if you hear it audibly as well as in your mind, it actually integrates quicker. So take a moment right now, and I want you to say leadership starts with leading myself, okay? Now, choosing endorphin releases, okay? One thing, now I can pick up my guitar. I can go play with my daughter. I can go work out. I can go for a walk. I can go to the ocean, okay? I can do all those things, right? And those release endorphins. You know what the latest one I found releases endorphins? When I fully set it with complete conviction and a smile on my face and gets my ass out of bed so fast. Every morning when I wake up, the first thing I say to myself is, where am I not yet free? Bring it on. You know how that literally, I just now, guys, it just welled up in me, this flush, this rush of endorphins, this excitement, this emotion, right? Where am I not yet free? Bring it on. I challenge you guys to come up with your own. Come up with your own thing like that to get yourself out of bed. Something that inspires you, not motivates. I got to get out of bed, I'm going to lose my job. That's motivation. Inspires, okay? All right, moving on. I'm going to...
Can I just pop in there one thing, Aaron, before you move on?
Yeah.
Guys, I love He-Man. Listen, I want you to proclaim your personal power right now, and wherever you are, and this is going to be crazy, but I want you to actually, I want to get you to shout for a second, okay? This is going to be great. I want you to just warm your voice up for a second and just go, so copy me, but let me do it first. You're going to go, all right, just do it. Go ahead. Like go from as high as you can to as low as you can. You're probably not even doing this. Maybe you just think I'm crazy. But now I want you to go do it. And I want you to do one more time from lowest as you can and go. It actually just protects your voice. All right. Now, wherever you are, I want you to give me a He-Man shout, and I want you to type it in the chat box. I have the power. All right, you guys, do it. Right? I want you to do it on 3. I want you to type this in with me right now. I want you to shout where you are, wherever you're at. I want you to do it. You're just going to think I'm nuts. If your neighbors don't hate you after this, you didn't shout loud enough, guys. I want to do it on 3, 2, 1. I have the power! All right.
I'm watching. I'm watching for the comments here.
I just got lit up. All right, guys. Listen, He-Man, after
there we go.
5,000 years.
Reach on again. Ooh, Paul actually added some power with exclamation.
Paul has the power. That's close. We're gonna get you to work on that power until it's a power. All right.
Nice.
That's right. Nice. Guys. I got excited about that. Okay, let's move on.
Shane, the last thing I want to say is, guys, look at the chat. We had half a dozen people do this, and notice that each of you did it differently.
Yeah.
Each of you did it in your own unique way. That's something to acknowledge and give gratitude for right there. That's you flowing through what we just offered you. That's beautiful. Everybody typed it different. It's awesome. All right. So moving forward, let us talk about focus. Following one course until successful. All right. So I'm going to pass this back to Shane, and Shane just walks through this so smoothly and so concisely that I'm going to just let him take this one away.
Yeah, thanks. And I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, guys. But okay, so we are going to be talking about how to properly strategize, how to manifest multiple streams of income legally, ethically, morally, properly, without being one of those douches that go and try to steal everyone else's team like a moron, or ruin one team that you've got and bring it to, like, I'm going to teach you guys the right way to do things. But here's the thing, okay, if you've ever done martial arts, the masters at jiu-jitsu, the masters at something, they spend hour after hour, hundreds of hours sometimes, mastering a single move. I play guitar, okay? I spent hours and hours. Literally, I have some songs. In fact, if you go to my Facebook page, you can see a song I upload. Listen, there's songs that I have. I kid you not, I put nothing less than over 100 hours into them. 100 hours into a single song that's like 3 to 5 minutes. 100 hours for a song that's that. Think about how many times I've played that song over and over and over and over again, because at first it was like a drawing with, sketch, okay? But I focused on, and what I found when I focused was I could focus even more. Now it's no longer about the outline of the song or the drawing and the outline. Now I'm getting into the shading. See the details. I'm getting into the vibration of every single note minutely, these little tiny bits of detail that when you listen to the song as a whole, create entire worlds and an atmosphere simply because of the attention paid to every single note, every pick of the string, every movement of the fingers, every single second on how it's played, its presence, its volume, everything. And then I find by practicing even more, I can focus on more stuff and energy and frequency even inside that. A lot of you might have heard someone who drums. Okay, I have drums. I love my conga drums. I have conga drums. I have bongo drums. I got djembes. I've got a cajon. I got like freaking awesome drums. Okay, I went on this musical instrument buying rampage. I used to just drum. Okay, I'm not drumming right now. I'm just showing. But when you get the drum, a real good drummer knows that, okay, so for most people who just have an ear of enjoyment of music, they just hear the beat. But a real musician, someone who's had practice, who focuses, they can hear there's all of these actual harmonies. You can actually play different sounding notes inside of a single drum. That one drum can produce many, 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 many different sounds based on how you hit, where you hit, the speed that you hit, the approach, your attack, your angle. Are you cupping? Are you not cupping? Like, there's so many incredible levels. And a master at the drum is literally with one single drum, a simple, djembe. He's playing the song, but it's actually an entire dance with hundreds of all these amazing notes being played. I know drummers that are that good. And then they're also amazing at other things. But what they do is you focus on one move at a time, and the power of focus. So a lot of you guys, like I said, if you don't have a full-time income coming from one business, build 3, 4, 5 different businesses, or you see a leader go into this business or that business or that business, but that leader is still successful in the business that you're in, stay the course. Get your job done. Because it doesn't matter what I do. I tell everybody, I got 3, 4, 5 streams of income now. I have 5 freaking streams, like 3 for sure, solid residual, building on another 2. That's me. But I worked each one until I was done. And if you don't have leaders in your network marketing business underneath you who have leaders that have leaders, you ain't ready. You're not there yet. So you got to focus. And that's the problem is, guys, the reason you're not getting results is probably the same reason that if you're struggling in business while you might be on your phone scrolling while you're listening, but not fully present. We're going to teach you the power of your presence will create your performance and your efficiency. And that is what's going to get you the results that you're looking. We're going to help you compress time frames here. But you can't be distracted and try to get results, because you're going to get complaining about the results that you didn't get from the work you didn't do because you're all distracted. Go ahead, Aaron.
Awesome, Shane. I wanted to bring up one little topic on this about following one course until successful. So, as some of you guys know some of my music. Some of you guys will get to know the album that I'm going to be releasing this year. Some of you will get to know the music that Shane and I are writing together. Some of you guys will be at one of our upcoming shows soon where we're playing our music at the same time that we're doing what we're doing right here. So I want you guys to understand how this played out in my life. And I want you to think about, what would this be for you? And what level do you want to achieve? Remember, you don't have to achieve what I did. A lot of people, I will tell them what I've done, and they're like, well, I don't want that. Because they fear they can't get it, is what I'm getting at, right? They say, oh, I don't want that. But it doesn't have to be the same thing. It doesn't have to be the same level. So 1% of 1% get a record deal, okay? I'm not saying this to toot my own horn or anything like that. I'm just showing you what it takes. I'm going to express briefly what it takes. And we're almost done here, by the way, and getting ready to give you guys something, give something away. So 1% of 1% get a record deal, okay? In order for me to achieve what I did, which actually I've had 4 record deals, okay, was to basically, I had to self-discipline myself at my craft, at my guitar, at singing, to reach a level of self-mastery, to have that freedom to be able to even present myself, to have that option to be one of the 1% of the 1%. So what is that for you? What is it that you dream of? One of our whole goals, our whole intentions is to lead people back to their passions, okay? And I am going to put out something right now, an offer right here. I just published an offer. This is about basically allowing Shane and I to coach you. This is not an invitation for us to charge you any money. This is an invitation for you to come and to our website, give us some insights, fill out a questionnaire, and just share with us where you're at so we can meet you where you're at. We may work one-on-one with you. We may not. It's not guaranteed. but this will, at a minimum, give us an idea of what people need to hear on these webinars and better ways that we can actually craft it and make sure that we're getting it across so you guys can return to your passion, so you can find that freedom, peace, and ease that we're talking about. And you can then continue to expand it further like Shane and I do now, okay? So I want you guys to go in there and click there. Don't get too distracted. I want you guys to continue to listen, but sometime by the end, I want you to go ahead and click on that and at least bookmark it so you guys can, fill out the questionnaire and start moving forward and allow us to coach you, okay? More than we are now. The more refined we can get, the more concise we can get, the better we'll be able to help you, all right? So now I want Shane to go ahead and go over, this is an overview, a little bit of what we're going to be covering over the next several weeks, okay? I'm going to toss this back to Shane, and Shane, just go ahead and talk about each one of these. We're not going to go into depth, guys. We're almost done. We just want to give you this overview, and then we want to give somebody a gift, so stick around. That's coming in about 2 minutes.
Okay, guys, awesome, and thanks, Aaron. So over the next series of months here, every Thursday, what we're going to be talking about are the 7-Day Weekend Mentors Success Blueprint Overview. And we're going to start off next Thursday with the 5 characteristics of successful people, how to find it, how to create it within yourself, how to cultivate it in others, okay? So we're going to talk about those very powerful characteristics. And trust me, when you find or know how to develop people into a 5 out of 5, and I'm just going to give you real quick, it's coachable, credibility with contacts, desire to succeed, tough as nails and fun to work with. I'm going to teach you how to find 5 and be the 5 that you're looking for. We're also going to talk about the 5 C's. So there's 5 characteristics, but then there's also 5 C's of success. The next one we're going to talk about is how to put on the mindful blinders, like, learning how to say no, learning how to deal with how you're processing a pitch. Like, look, sometimes people or myself or you, maybe you get pitched on every business idea and, maybe you're at a pivotal point in your career or in your business, you're not super satisfied and you start looking at pastures over there. And look, there's nothing wrong with that, but you also have to understand where it is that's actually hitting you from, how you actually interpret that energy so you can make a proper decision. Either you stay and put, you're going to move somewhere, but you got to learn how to process why you're experiencing what you're experiencing so you can make a decision from wisdom, not off of emotion. Remember, emotion outweighs logic every day of the week, and people often become very emotional and they make decisions that are not proper or not logical. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about collaboration versus competition, why it's always better to simply collaborate with people, cheer on other people that you can't work with, because when you're building rapport, building relationships down the road, that could lead to all sorts of amazing things. As soon as you have an us versus them mentality, trust me, you've already lost everything. You're already out of the game. You've been canned, okay? As soon as you think that way, it's done. So you got to change. You can always come back, but you gotta repent of that. It's not a good mindset. No competition out there, guys. Trust me. We're going to talk about the 6 vices and the 7 virtues. So there are 6 specific fields of vices: addictions, negative people, negative relationships, negative environments, pride, being a victim, multitasking. We're going to talk about all those, and we're going to talk about the 7 virtues that you can cultivate and develop within yourself to overcome vices. And we're also going to talk about when is enough money enough. Okay, so a lot of people, they get on board with the industries of online or network marketing, and they want to be successful, and they get to the Comma Club or the 2 Comma Club. They're making $10,000 a month, or they're making $1,000 a day, or they're making $10,000 a day, or they're making $100,000 a day. Some people, they set this idea that money equals them being God, or money equals greatness, or more money equals more me. It's not the case. Actually, you get lost down that rabbit hole, guys. I have lots of friends that make literally anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000 per day. I've got friends that make that kind of money. Okay, and I'm telling you, there's absolutely no freaking difference in their life from someone who only makes like 10 grand a month. There's like no difference, other than they might go on like an extra lavish, they might spend an extra little bit more on a hotel, but realistically, unless they're trying to show off or just, fly around in jets, like that's one thing. Maybe they can fly in jets, but everything else is freaking the same. Like it's the same, guys. You know, they still fart, they still have problems, they still got issues with their life. It's all the same stuff. So, but if you keep pursuing money and you don't pursue your passion, then everything you did was a farce, and you die with that. You know, there's a lot of rich people who die with all their dreams in the grave with them. Okay, so we're going to ask you, when is enough enough? We're going to go over that. Everyone should have a specific number. Okay, how to find real mentors. We're going to talk about pirates versus heroes, shepherds versus wolves in sheep's clothing, or for my Star Wars friends, the Empire versus the Jedi. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to find your running buddy. Aaron and I are running buddies, okay? There's a lot of power in all of my businesses. I've always had a running buddy, okay? Now, running buddies are in for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. However it works out, we want to help you find your running buddy and learn how to create that and manifest that. Because a lot of you might not have a big social network. Maybe you don't got a ton of friends. We're going to show you how to get what you need to get, okay? We're going to talk about commitment and loyalty, all right? And again, it's just more going to talk about ethics and honesty and being upright in how you do things, complete honesty, you know, and transparency. Like I have multiple businesses. I don't have anything to hide with that. I can tell other people in my other business what I do because I do things correctly. I don't have this, now that I'm doing this thing, I'm going to go back and try to get all the leaders from that thing over there, you know, like I don't, you know, sometimes people might come and join, but you know, if you do things the right way, guys, you will always have respect and your name will be held high. Okay. Building the fire and pump the billows. Again, that's going to talk about multiple streams. Build that fire, get it going. If you understand when enough money is enough, you still got to go back sometimes and you got to pump the billows. I don't have, you know, 3 walkaway businesses. Mostly they are, but I still go back sometimes. I got to pump them bills just a little bit to get those, keep those things going, keep the forge hot. All right, we're going to talk about aligning yourself with a winning team, how to pick them, how to find them, how to interview the uplines, how to make sure that you are actually joining people that can actually show you. You can put a winner in a losing situation, you're still going to win. If you put a loser in a winning situation, he's going to lose. It doesn't matter. Losers will lose, winners will win. But if you put a winner in a winning situation, it's a home run. All right. All right. So next we're going to talk about the 3 to 5 year plan, actually getting real with yourself. Okay. And sometimes it takes 10 years, guys. Look, there's no guarantees on this journey. Okay. Because I can't watch your life 24/7 and hold your hand through everything. Okay. Only you and God can do that. So, you know, the 3 to 5 year plan is a realistic thing. If you do the right work, the right time, the right mindfulness, and the right energy, and you have the right perspective on things, guys, you know, you could maybe hit a home run sooner than that. But it's important to understand how to get timelines in your brain, okay? Self-discipline equals self-mastery, which equals freedom and ease. Let's break free from the vices that imprison us, okay? We're going to talk about tools, strategies, leverage, compounding. We're going to talk about wealth. That's right. Aaron, I don't want to say how much he's doing, but he's doing pretty good, all right? But let's just say that Aaron can teach you some very important information on strategies, leveraging, and compounding. I don't know anybody who knows how to compound better than this guy, okay? And we will have much, much more. So that is our itinerary, guys. You know, now we're going to get into the giving away something. All right. So, Aaron, why don't you? I'll do the drum roll, and you can throw it up.
Well, 1 second before you start the drum roll, Shane. I'm going to type something in here, guys, really quick in the chat, and I want you to, as soon as we are done here, let's see if I can multitask. I want you to click on this, and I want you to go register for an upcoming webinar next Tuesday. I think I spelled it right. I'm going to talk about the last 12 months of my life, the personal growth that I achieved, as well as what that allowed me to do and how it allowed me to learn self-discipline. It helped me to learn. Gosh, I can't even say it because it's so crazy. But I learned leveraging. I learned compounding firsthand. I'm going to show you guys visually, literally, how it actually happened and how it completely blew my mind time and time again. I'm going to give you the visuals and show you how I, took 5 Bitcoin into, I'm not even going to tell you how many it is by now because people just can't wrap their head around it. But compounding is pretty amazing. So I want you guys to go ahead and register for that webinar as well. That's next Tuesday. It'll be at 2 different times, 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. Pacific time. All right, drum roll, please. Starts with your inner blueprint. You cannot grow your outer world until you grow your inner world. Everything in your outer world, your level of peace and ease in relationships, in business, in your job, in your health and fitness is 100% a reflection of the relationship you have with yourself. That being said, we want to give away another Audible gift card. Shane, you talk about Audible because you know it better than I do and love it. You love it.
Yeah. So I've got myself. So what I love about Audible is it's your books being read to you by a professional narrator. You can change the speed. I like to listen to my Audible at about 2.3 to 2.5. It's very awesome. It's one of the best learning tools I've ever discovered. It's incredible. And if you're someone who wants to be able to maximize your efficiency and your time, you want to have as much personal development time as possible. This would be, maybe if you're at the gym working out, driving to work, driving back from work, on breaks here and there, wherever you can get your quiet time in the morning, going for a walk down the park, going for a hike, listening to audio books. They're downloaded directly to your phone. So once you've downloaded them, you don't need to be in internet service in order for Audible to work. So it's also something you can listen to while you're on the plane. And I travel a lot, so I love my Audible. And I'm not much for reading when I'm on a plane because it makes my eyes kind of feel, so I love Audible. It's really amazing. Now, we want you to take action. If you already have Audible, congratulations. There's just a handful, some people on this webinar here, guys. You're either going to get an Audible subscription, right? We'll get that going for you, or you'll get a credit. Like we'll send a credit your way. Okay. So what I want you guys to do in order to get this is you have to type in the following sentence that Aaron is going to say. He will say it once, so don't type anything until he's finished saying it. Once he's said it, he will say it again and again and again until the first person who writes it out absolutely word for word verbatim. Okay, that person will get this gift. All right, are you ready? Aaron, go for it.
All right, so are you listening? And the next thing I'm going to say is, were you listening? I told you to commit to memory something earlier on in this webinar, and I said it multiple times. Whoever can type that in the chat first wins. Go. We need the do. Shane, you're going to learn that on guitar by the next webinar, and you're going to sit there do.
Yeah, figure it out right now.
All right, who's got it? Who's got it? I said it earlier. Somebody's got to remember. Somebody had to have written it down. Oh, did we guys
give him a hint? Give him a hint.
Did we just catch all you guys like not listening? Remember. There it is.
Oh, Courtney.
Courtney wins. Leadership starts with leading myself. There it is. Guys, thank you so much for being on here. Go to 7dayweekendmentors.com. Search us on Facebook. Join us on Facebook. All the replays for all the webinars are hosted on 7dayweekendmentors.com. Watch them. Share that site. Guys, continue to absorb. And you will grow. We will see you guys next time. If you want to join us again at 6 p.m. today, we never do the same. We do the same thing, but we never do it the same way twice. So with that, we'll pass it back to Shane for the final goodbyes, and I'll see you guys next time.
Guys, you're awesome. We love you. It'd be great to join us at 6 o'clock too. Also, feel free to share this next webinar at 7 or at 6 o'clock with your friends. We'd love to have you all on there. All right. Bye for now.
See you later.